Hey, what's up, guys? This is Lizzy Jane, and you're tuning in to an episode for the XO podcast. Today, we have a very special guest on who goes by the name of Paul Reed. He's debatably one of the pioneers as to why our electronic scene within the state of Florida is the way it is today. Everything from talent buying to artist management and more. Super excited to have you, Paul. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on today.
Absolutely. Okay, so I just want to start before we kind of get into the whole inspirational why you do what you do thing. Tell me really what was your path into why you got into this industry. I can tell you weren't like an artist. A lot of times people are like, "Oh, I tried to be a DJ and that didn't really work out," and then I found, you know.
I have zero DJing skills. I don't even deny front about the fact that I know how to make music or DJ. I don't. It's terrible. So I actually took kind of an unconventional path. I'm not from Florida originally. I'm from Ohio.
Where are you from? Great.
I'm from Ohio. Yeah. And, I was in college, just kind of doing my thing, whatever. Studying.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Wright State University in Dayton, Ohio. So I was studying business management, had no real plans of doing anything in the music business, had never even thought about it. This was what year was that? 2011.
Okay. Sick.
So I was student government president at my university, and I had a meeting one day with our arena or whatever, and they were like, "Hey, we're thinking about bringing this party thing to the university. Someone called and pitched it. What do you think?" So they sat me down and showed me this video on YouTube, and it was Dayglow from Orlando.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, so I'm watching this video and people getting covered in paint, it's crazy, it's super OG, all the Dayglow shit. So I'm like, okay, well that's really fucking cool. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I had just gotten back from Europe before that, and I went to a Pendulum show in London.
Oh, Pendulum. They just put out new music for the first time in a decade. Yeah.
That was actually their farewell tour that I went to. It was at the end of 2010. My friend Adam and I went to Wembley Arena and saw their show. So I was really getting into the dance music thing. Dance music wasn't really a big thing in Ohio, but in Europe and doing some other stuff, I was like, okay, well this is really cool. I'm into it. So kind of fast forward a little bit, didn't hear anything for a minute, and then I get a call one day in my office, and there was this random ass Chicago number. I'm like, okay, who's this?
What? Yeah.
And it's this guy named Zach from Dayglow. And he's like, well, man, they said that you know a bunch of people, because you're student government president and you're in a frat and whatever. What
frat were you in?
I was a SIG app.
Okay, I was in Zeta. So there we go. Cool, yeah. Cool. Very rare that you find pan life anywhere in the scene.
Period. And those of us that were we don't really talk about it.
No, absolutely not. No. Nope.
Yeah. But yeah, so he calls me and he's like, would you like to help promote this show? And I don't know, I'd never really promoted shows before. I was like, I don't know, sure.
Yeah.
Offers you some cash or whatever. I'm like, yeah, we throw a pretty good frat party. I could sell some tickets.
Yeah.
So yeah, we ended up throwing this show. We ended up selling it out. No headliner. It was 3,500 tickets. And that kind of really got me into the music business.
Very cool seeing something come together in front of your eyes after a bunch of work, and especially with the capability of you having no headliners and able to do 3,500 tickets is pretty big for somewhere like Ohio.
Yeah, it was great. It was absolutely crazy. I don't know if I could ever do it again. It was just a perfect form.
Did you play a part in Life in Color in Miami as we get kind of down to that event, down to where you're from now?
Yeah, no, from there we'll kind of fast forward a little bit, but I got involved with those guys there. I did some stuff with them in the Midwest for a while, helping grow other shows and do stuff.
They were a huge household for a while. Life in Color was a huge
they were massive. From 20.
That was my first rave. 18 years old. Went down to the last 2-day event in Miami right before I graduated. Saw Borgor and Carnage, and I was like, "What the hell is this shit?" And
I always joke that Life in Color was the gateway rave.
It was. Oh, it was. Yeah.
That was everybody's first show that they went to, and I think in a lot of ways, we were responsible for bringing a ton of people into dance music, whether people want to admit it or not. Life in Color was really like that thing that went to all these colleges and big cities and opened the door and exposed people to dance music. We were part of the reason that dance music spread coast to coast.
Oh, that gives me chills. Yeah, it's so cool because it's like you look back at it and it's like obviously dance music has been integrated even within, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. But I feel like in the last like 2 decades, it's just had this massive turning point where even in this weird time, you still see it progressing in multiple ways and hitting new facets in like the video game industry and through Twitch and through streaming and YouTubes and things that like still people who would have never thought of going to a rave, it's so easy for them to just turn something on for free and be like, holy shit, that's dope. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing it, on radio, you see it on the internet, like the access is there, like the day and age we live in, like it's never been easier to access any piece of information or music or whatever from anywhere. It still amazes me when I get sent music from like random kids in these small European towns, and I'm like, whoa, that's fucking crazy. Like,
yeah.
I can
How'd you find my email? Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
so it's pretty cool. But yeah, I do think that dance music in the past, 20 years has really seen this like massive shift from an underground movement to more of a mainstream thing. And it's constantly evolving and growing like any genre. But, like that explosion of dance music that happened, like say 2007 through like 2014 was just unprecedented.
Huge.
Yeah, I mean, like that was the shift that created the festival scene that everybody knows today, and really brought kids into having like shows in every city. Before that, like
local to
like,
regional to national, just huge everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, people didn't have a show that they could just go to every weekend
when they wanted to go.
Yeah, like that didn't exist when I was in college. It wasn't like, oh yeah, we're gonna go down and see Excision this weekend. It's like, there's no dance music shows here. Like, at the time that we were doing Dayglow in Ohio, like people weren't booking club shows. There wasn't really a scene. Like we had a club, but like they just played like top 40 music. And I'm sure he mixed in some dance music stuff, but like wasn't really like a thing,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Rewinding very quickly, I kind of jumped from college to Life in Color. What brought you to Miami once you graduated school?
Yeah, so I graduated school. I started grad school. I hated it. I was like, fuck this.
What'd you go to grad school for?
What did I go to grad school for? Master's in Public Admin.
Okay.
I worked at City Hall. I worked in planning and community development. It was like a straight suit and tie.
If it makes you feel any better, I went to GW for my freshman year in DC, and I studied international affairs with a concentration in Russian. That was how much that I was like, okay, time to grow up, time to be an adult. Just hated it.
I feel that. I was in the same boat. Like I just got to the point one day, like I was sitting in my office at City Hall. I'm like, man, I can't do this. I'm like looking around and like I see all these people that are like in their 30s and 40s and 50s, and I was like, this is what I have to look forward to. This is fucking terrible.
I'm
like, I don't want to spend the rest of my life doing this and like being miserable. I'm like, this is what I have to look forward to. Nah, I'm good. So I picked up my phone and called the dude, Zach, that worked for Life in Color. And I was like, yo, I'm like, what will you pay me to just come work for you and like fucking sling tickets and do whatever? And he had this other company called Crew that like did stuff in the Midwest too. And I don't know, he offered me some atrocious amount of money, like $1,000 a month. And I was like, oh, fuck it, whatever.
And I literally
dropped out of grad school and quit my job and just went to like promoting shit full time. So like we worked like pretty much all the Big Ten schools, and we were like traveling back and forth to like Indiana, Iowa, the schools.
So is this at the time that you were like flyering like hard?
Oh yeah. We
flyers.
were okay. Yeah, we were heavy flying. Like at that point I was like starting to like really build promo teams like at other universities, and like that was one of the things that really set me apart. And actually it did really help me in Greek, because like I would call up the frats and be like, oh yeah, yo, what's up? I'm a SIGEP, like, I'm trying to like throw this fucking party here, like y'all want some fucking tickets, and kind of like broker deals with them, and they would introduce me to people.
Easy
like,
to have that relation. It sometimes comes in handy. Very, very rarely, but it sometimes comes in.
It definitely came in handy in those early days, you know, because it opened a lot of doors, and like Greek life is still very, well, at least at that time was still very strong in a lot of schools. So yeah, we just kind of like, I did that for probably like 6-8 months. And then, you know, I got a call one day. Zach was like, yo, what we're doing with like these promotion teams is crushing. And the guys in Miami from Life in Color want to do this for all the shows, like in the whole country.
Yeah.
So they flew me down to Miami. I'd only ever been here once. Like my parents, we came down to like Disney World, and we have some family that like lives in South Florida. So like that was my only experience. Like we fly down, we stayed in downtown Miami. I was like, holy shit, this is fucking cool. You know, like big city. Like I'm from a farming community.
Oh,
like,
talk about a day and night change. Oh my goodness.
I mean, there's like 15,000 people in my hometown. Like I grew up in a very rural area. You know, so it was like, okay, shit, like this is the big time. You know, people drive Ferraris and Rolls Royces and shit. I'm like, my God, okay, wow, like this is crazy. So came down, interviewed with those guys, and subsequently ended up taking a job just like building promo teams for, you know, Life in Color. And like your job is straight up to, you know, recruit people, 50 to 100 people in every market, get them to sell tickets, pass out flyers, do whatever. So I was like, all right, sign me the fuck up. And went home, told my parents, I'm like, I'm moving to Miami. And they're like, you're fucking nuts.
Like, were they like supportive to a standpoint, or okay,
they were not fucking having it. So like, I already dropped out of grad school at this point. I had already quit my job at this point, and
you were already so committed to it.
I was like, fuck it, full send, you know. And they just, everyone, you know, and I look back and I think, you know, they were just concerned about, you know, my success long term. And obviously my parents want the best for me, and they're cool with it now. But you know, it's like, what I was doing was pretty fucking risky, you know, like I was moving to Miami. I didn't know anybody, you know, and was just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm going to go down here and do this. So I moved to Miami, and then the work really fucking started. I thought I knew what it meant to work, but like I got down here and it was just like, it was nonstop. And just, that's how I started with the Life in Color guys. And it just grew from there. Like I just worked my ass off, and it, you know, it came together. It definitely wasn't an overnight thing, but
so like self-diligent. You have to have this diligence within yourself to really do anything in any facet of this industry, period. That's what I've just seen as my experience going along the way, and just like the sacrifices that you make. When you came down to Miami, was there a prominent EDM scene within like the house subgenre kind of?
I mean,
or was
Space
you know
has been a staple in the house stuff for forever. You know, like at that time it was like Mansion, Live, Story, Wall, like Mokai, like those were really the hot clubs. You know, with like Live, Story, and Mansion all kind of like jockeying for like the mainstream stuff. But obviously, you know, Space still was doing its thing. The Terrace was still there. That club's been here for like 20 years. You know, but they had a sprinkling of other stuff, and, you know, playing, you know, all kinds of stuff, really.
Yeah, most definitely. Going into Space, you had blank canvas shows primarily at the ground at Space. You are, correct me if I'm wrong, you're the curator of Blank Canvas, correct?
So, explain. Yeah, Blank Canvas is kind of a weird anomaly. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like, basically what ends up happening is like a bunch of shit happens with Life in Color, and we're like, okay, fuck, we need like want to throw other shows, you know? And do other stuff. Like we noticed that the paint party thing was kind of dwindling, and we were all sitting around and we're like,
because they went from 2-day events to 1-day events, right?
Yeah, went back to 1-day events, and like the touring stuff just wasn't doing as well, and like the business as a whole just wasn't doing as well. So, you know, we really sat down, myself, Eric Fuller, and a couple other people, and we're like, okay, we need to come up with another brand. So we did Miami Music Week for the first time, and that wasn't Blank Canvas. And, you know, we put the Life in Color logo on there. We did like Marshmallow, Deadbeats with Jaw. It goes off the deep end with Jaws. And then we did a mosaic with Macioplex.
Okay.
So shows did really good. Everything was awesome.
For sure.
But like everyone assumed that because the Life in Color logo was on there, that it was a fucking paint party.
Paint party. Okay.
Yeah, I got a ton of people emailing me like, yo, is this a paint party? Is it a paint
I don't want to get paint all over me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh my God, like how can you have Macioplex with paint? And I'm like, we're not. It's a warehouse party.
Yeah.
So at that time we were like, okay, shit, like we really need to develop something.
Another entity that's going to keep
another
this going.
entity. So we went through with our staff and, went through the full like name building, what would you say, exercise, came up with probably over 100 names, worked those down. Once we got down to like, the top 10 names, it was like, okay, where are the social options for these? What's open? And we ended up landing on Blank Canvas. So like at that time, Blank Canvas.
What year was this?
That'd have been 2017.
2017. Okay.
Yeah. So Blank Canvas was at that time owned by SFX Lifestyle because they owned Life in Color.
Okay.
Like we were part of this. Like,
oh my gosh. They've been around forever too. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy as like an artist, like from the back end who has been in, cause I was in metal engineering before I kind of came over to the EDM side of things. And it's crazy seeing the conglomerates that are very still related even a decade later. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think from a fan standpoint a lot of people realize like who has control of stuff, and like it's a lot more centralized than you would think.
That's so much why I'm doing this is because like you see so many, like there's not a lot of podcasts within EDM, but like I'm a crazy podcast fanatic, so you go to like Joe Rogan and all of those main guys, but so many consumers don't understand the back end of things, and I feel like if they take the time or they show the interest to understand, people who are in your role and this role and that role, to see the whole circle come to life, to see the artist on stage is like a really awesome thing. And I know that's like why you do it too.
Yeah, people they don't see us. Like we're like event planners and marketing people and talent buyers, like we're very behind the scenes. And for the most part, like we're not like people know who we are like in the EDM scene or whatever. Like, but the average fan like walks past me and has no idea that like I've helped organize this whole festival.
Yeah, this is my show. This is my festival. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. Like that's not why I do it.
Absolutely.
Like, some people do it for the clout, like, oh, I've thrown all these events, whatever. And I'm like, whatever. Like, that's my job. I love it. I love bringing people together. That's why I do it. I don't do it because I want you to come over here and tell me how awesome I am. Like,
whatever. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Okay. So wait, back to Blank Canvas. So it was originally owned by who?
Okay. So it was owned by Lifestyle SFX, same company that owned like Electric Zoo.
Easy. I was about to say Lifestyle.
Disco Donnie and like all his shit. At that time, they actually owned Living Story.
Wow. I did not. Wow.
Yeah, they owned a ton of stuff. And plus like 3 or 4 other festivals, some stuff in Europe, Mysteryland, like all that stuff was under their control.
Massive.
So at that point, we're kind of like, okay, cool. So we end up coming up with the name Blank Canvas, and myself and Eric Fuller, who was like our CMO or like I guess he was our VP, like at that time, here in our Miami office, he was the head of Miami. We really sat down and we're like, okay, like let's do some club shows and stuff. And like, that's where like Jake said, been like June 2017, we threw our first club show at Space. We did a show at Ghastly. Eric's actually one of the owners from Space.
Yep.
And has a really great relationship with those guys. So, we kind of like went in there and did our first show. And then, from there it just took off and we were like, okay, this is awesome. We kept booking more club shows and like doing whatever, Art Basel, Music Week. And, that's really like how Blank Canvas grew. Eric and I worked together to curate talent and, kind of book whatever tours were going to come in along with the talent buyer from DDP because, they were like routing tours and stuff. I'm like, yeah, this is good. This is good. Let's put efforts in on this. We had some amazing shows from Chami and Mala and Sam.
Oh, absolutely. Every time I think of Blank Canvas, I think of the ground and Miami Music Week and the circle just running around.
Yeah, and Music Week. So everything was great. And it came around. We did Music Week 2019.
So wait, this past Music Week, not the one where, we're in a national pandemic, the one before that. You all had been up to how many shows were you guys throwing? I can't imagine that.
At that point, we threw we through 7 or 8 shows. We were programming maps and we were programming Soho Studios, for the full week, for Music Week. Was super successful, crushed it.
I mean, huge headliners, every show in every genre, period.
Yeah, I mean, everything was amazing. And then, I don't know, okay, so that's at the end of March. My birthday is the 6th of April. Eric got married on my birthday. We're like, everything's great. We're chilling. Everything's good. I have my birthday. And then, I come in the next week and they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, we're closing the office. And I'm like, what?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so, that's, I guess, something I haven't talked about a lot. You know, the story of, how I get to Life in Color and Blank Canvas gets talked about a lot. But, we came in last year and they were like, okay, we're shutting down the office. You're done. Whatever. Figure it the fuck out. So that's kind of where...
Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'd been a corporate employee for a long time doing music stuff.
Yeah.
And they were like, sorry, not sorry. You don't have a job anymore. So, yeah, I mean, and that was kind of Blank Canvas stopped. And that's why, you hadn't heard a lot in 2019 from Blank Canvas.
Yeah.
Is because they basically were like, okay, you're done. And that's the same thing with Life in Color. They closed the office in Miami and they did a few international shows, but it couldn't really ever get traction again. So
is that just because it wasn't lucrative anymore, or were there other underlying meanings?
It just wasn't making the money that it needed to make anymore. We had
a lot of really great years. Yeah, we
had a lot of really great years. We had a lot of really great shows, but it's an expensive thing to tour, and because of the production and everything else, and it just wasn't working. So we're like, all right,
you have to make so much back just to even break even and make mark.
It was tough. You had to sell 4,000 tickets plus to break even. It really only works with big room sound and bass stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Kids got burnt out on it. They're like, I don't want to do it. And for as amazing as a concept of it was, the guys, they were really ahead of their time with developing the Life in Color thing. People just started to shit on it. And it was I don't know, there's a whole other side of the fucking industry that just really pisses me off. When it comes to fans and people, it's yo, your first rave was Life in Color, but here you are oh, fuck Life in Color, fuck that paint party. I'm you should be encouraging other people to go to events and bringing other people to the event that brought you into dance music, not oh, I'm too good for that, pinkies up. I don't know, dance music has this whole fucking pinkies up thing where people think they're better than other people.
It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, it kind of bothers me, and I'm sure I'm gonna get some fucking heat for saying that, but
no.
It is what it is.
Oh my god, no. I completely agree.
Twitter now, and it's
look at EDM Twitter.
Yeah, I guess I'll just say it for what it's worth, because I don't really give a shit. And people are still gonna buy tickets to my shows, which is probably a cocky thing to say, but people need to stop fucking canceling people because they have an opinion on EDM Twitter. It's fucking ridiculous.
Or they have just way too much time on their hands and they need to pick up a hobby or a passion or learn something or open a book and do something better with your life.
The Carbon thing yesterday where
oh my god, I was literally
no, you should have 15 tracks done. My man's is not wrong. If you're a producer, this was your best opportunity ever.
He deleted his Twitter. His Twitter is gone. It's gone.
Yeah, I know. He deleted his Twitter. It's ridiculous, but if I get on Twitter right now and defend him, they're gonna throw rocks at me.
Nobody's gonna put themselves in that position just because they know the outcome. You can't. It's like trying to reinvent the cycle that's already broken and is never gonna be reinvented.
Insane, and it's I mean,
I think that's the thing too, is a lot of people do agree, and it's and maybe it wasn't ever there, but I feel at one time it was respected to it was okay to disagree with each other and have intelligent conversations and all of that stuff. And it's crazy because for a while at that June, July period, I'm yo, is this just fucking going on in EDM? Are we all just children sitting at the kindergarten table? But
yes.
It's going on. Yes. But it's going on in every industry because I hear comedians talk about getting canceled because they live off of making inappropriate jokes and all of that stuff. And, they'll get canceled and they'll get attacked. And it's all very much so within the arts industry. And it's sad. It's so sad.
Yeah. I mean, it makes me I don't know. I love dance music. I've devoted my whole life and career to this stuff. Like I've never worked another job since I left college,
Yeah.
and it's like, I don't know, it just aggravates me.
We will get past it though. We'll get past it. It coincides so much with this pandemic. And
yeah, I mean, as soon as we start throwing shows, everybody's gonna have goldfish memory and go back to being whatever. But like right now, while everyone's sitting around at their house, like playing on their phones, people are just ridiculous. Like
people are ridiculous.
I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about that shit. I just don't get involved in those conversations, because it's like,
it's a downhill cycle. It doesn't matter what side you're on, it's going down.
It spirals out of control. It's like stupid. But I do agree with Carbon. I think if you're a producer, like you should have been working. Look, and I understand the mental health thing. There is a flip side to that. Like we're all going through some shit. I'd be the first
everyone is.
I'd be a fucking liar if I said I hadn't gone through some shit. It's been weird. Like we took a massive fucking L on Music Week.
And you think about it too, and it's like we have like almost no union. Like you look at like other industries within the workforce, like electricians and construction and all of that stuff. And I feel like not only do most of the people within our industry not vote and most of our consumers not vote, we're not going to get help, and we're going to be the last people to get help if it ever comes. And it's just, it sucks. It's very demotivating, but at the same time, like there will be like another rainbow at the end of this when it does get back to normal. But I understand, like if you can play, like if you can throw shows with socially distanced guidelines, like a lot of places are starting to do, I think you should, because we're not receiving help. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. We're kind of chilling on the blank canvas stuff, like I'm throwing shows, but I don't have an issue with people in Tampa and Orlando and whatever throwing shows. Like when we were under a full quarantine, sure, at a certain point it's like, hey, be safe. I'm kind of under the opinion now, like you look at everything that's going on and it's like you got Trump rallies, you got Biden rallies, you got protests.
And even if we didn't throw any EDM shows, this would still be going on. We still wouldn't,
I don't know. Like, I guess I'll put my tinfoil hat on for a minute. But I'm like, yo, all these people are gathering at fucking protests and marches, rallies.
And football games have people in the stands.
My parents were just at like a car show in Gatlinburg, and there's like 50,000 people there.
Daytona just had a huge truck rally. They just had like 2,000 people.
200,000
or
bike rally. I'm like, how the fuck is all this stuff happening? And there's not this massive outbreak and spike. I'm like, maybe it's not what they say it is.
Yeah.
Just gonna throw that out there.
I feel like anybody who would have gotten it has gotten it by now. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Like it was crazy what happened in New York City, and like shit got so bad.
I don't think New York will be the same way it was for a long time.
I think New York was getting people directly from China. It was spread very easily. Oh, yeah. I don't know what's happened, but I just don't feel like it's as contagious and deadly as it once was.
I agree.
I don't know. It's been a really tough year, and I think people in events in the music business, like, we're holding out hope, but I don't know when things are going to get back to normal. And I do think it just feeds this like Twitter animal where people are looking for drama. They're looking for something to do. They're looking for something to talk about. They want to gossip.
Absolutely.
That is kind of the way that it is. And I think that really drives, I ran full circle here to the counterculture thing, but I think that really drives a lot of this shit, is that people want to be the people that like, oh, I'm the one that canceled Carbon. Oh, I'm the one that fucking did what to so-and-so.
And so many of these people don't even exist within like our industry. And I also feel like there's a kind of a negative connotation with people who sometimes are able to live their passion for a career. And I feel like it's really hard for somebody who doesn't enjoy their day-to-day life and their lifestyle or has to work, has to do what they need to do in order to live. And they get these opportunities to bring people down, and it just sucks. It sucks. And then, but it only takes one Twitter influencer or one whatever to just.
I mean, it's almost like they do it for clout. Like they're clout chasing because like that makes them somebody, like, oh, I'm the one that brought so-and-so down. And like they get all these extra people following them and people talking about it. And like, and to a certain extent, it's true. Like if you have something that goes viral within, the dance music social media sphere, it's like, oh, well, that brings some attention to that person, probably the most attention that person's ever gotten on socials. So, you know, they don't think about like the subsequent fallout of like, well, you just fucked up somebody's career that like, that's how they pay their bills. And don't get me wrong, people like fucking Datsik and Space Jesus and Base Nectar, fuck all them. And fuck all that bullshit. You know what I mean? I don't
no, they're in
their
they're in their own department of like, okay, it's not okay.
To get fucking canceled.
Absolutely.
And I'm cool with that, and I support it. I think anyone, you know, that's found doing just ridiculous shit like that, and you know, we don't have space
on any grounds should not.
Yeah, like we don't have any grounds for that. And
but to cancel somebody who tweets something that you don't agree with, or to cancel somebody who might just have to take a show to pay their bills or do this or do that, it's not worth ruining their career and their livelihood.
Yeah, I mean, there was like the whole AT-Aliens
I know,
thing,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and it was like, you know, guys, like they're allowed to have shows. And
like I'll ask you as a talent buyer, because you've got all these educated kids on Twitter who are like, oh, the talent buyers are taking notes of who's playing shows. I'm like, no, they're not. If you sell tickets, you sell tickets. When everything's
you sell tickets. Like I don't give a shit. There's so much stuff that's like bullshit that people talk about on EDM Twitter, and I just sit back and laugh because I'm like, we don't talk about any of this. I'm like, it doesn't really fucking matter. I'm like, bought talent for tons of shows, been involved in buying talent for tons of shows, festivals, everything, and it's like, I don't care. Like, you played a show, like, oh my God, I'm not gonna book you. I'm like, no, I care about like what you're following.
Are you gonna bring heads through the door? Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, to a certain extent, like there could be a direct correlation between like you do something that fans don't like and you drop off in popularity. That's it, Space Jesus, you know, even nobody wants to book them now.
Yeah.
But, you know, for the most part, it's like, look, man, and we all understood that like whoever was going to be the pioneer and like the first person to throw shows, there was going to be issues, you know, like you can't go down a new path and try something that nobody's ever done before and like start throwing these shows in an unprecedented position. Like there was gonna be problems. Like, and anyone that thought there wasn't gonna be problems is completely out of their fucking mind. Cause it's like, you know, I don't know anything about throwing shows in a pandemic. Do you? Nope. Never throw a show in a pandemic. Yeah. They were like all looking at each other like,
it's things that that kids are gonna read in their history books like a century from now or a decade from now. And it's just wild because no one's ever gone through it. Like my mother and my stepdad own a nonprofit, and you know they function off of fundraisers and events. And then you've got the whole sports world. I have roommates right now who are watching basketball, football, and baseball all in one sitting, all in one night because they have contracts with TV stations to fulfill their things. And it's just crazy. How would you ever know how to approach something like this?
I mean, you don't. And everybody, like, you know, sports is a good example because like everybody took a different approach, you know?
Yeah.
It was like, well, we're going to do this or we're not.
They wanted to put everybody at the Disney hotels in Orlando.
Yeah, I mean, the NBA was just like, fuck it. Everybody's moving to a bubble and that's that. Which is crazy if you think about it.
Crazy.
You know, and then the MLB is doing their thing, but you know, like the NFL now, they have fans, and it's kind of like, okay, well, you know, man, like there's definitely, you know, a move in the right direction here. So I don't know. I think we just got to kind of like see how.
I don't think we're gonna go backwards now. I think when we tried to rush in June, that was not the right play. But now I think it will slowly open back up. And I think you're going to start to see more venues within our industry do the same thing that other venues are doing in different states. And it's just going to go state by state because, you know, you look at California and their gyms aren't even open. Their gyms haven't been open since March. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
And I do think that people are like going to push it back against closing stuff. So yeah, I mean, we're optimistic that we'll be able to get back to business as usual, hopefully sooner rather than later. I'm thinking it's really going to be the beginning of next year before we see.
I agree. Stuff. I think spring 2021.
Yeah, and I think festivals will come back. I'm optimistic that Music Week, you know, we might be able to do something. I don't know.
Back to Blank Canvas, what you were talking about in 2019 when all of that happened, before this pandemic came into play, you were so what happened there? Because you were still working with Blank Canvas for this Miami Music Week 2020, right? Okay, so what happened?
Basically what happened there is like, okay, so I left to go do my thing. Eric left to go do his thing. The rest of the office dispersed. I already had my management project. And then like I just started freelancing and like working with a ton of festivals. I did some stuff with Homebase last year. I ended up working with Prime Social Group and like all their breakaway festivals. I was working with Imagine and did all the marketing for Imagine Fest last year in Atlanta. And then finally like got connected with the Medium Rare guys, and like that's where I am at now, working with them, doing the Shaq stuff, Gronk, Carnage.
Oh my God. Okay, we have to go into that next because that's really exciting.
We'll come back to that. So like we were doing all that, and then like in the meantime, myself, Eric, and Paul Campbell, who was one of the original founders at Life in Color as well, we kind of like all started having these conversations about like, well, damn, we really still want to do something with Blank Canvas, and you know, it would be cool to do something for Music Weeks. Like, I don't know, we were like keep having this conversation about like Music Week, and like that was progressing like through all of 2019. We were kind of like, man, it was just such a good year last year. So we actually like sat down and came up with like 3 or 4 other names, like to throw shows under during Music Week. We're like, fuck it, we're doing Music Week regardless. And Eric and myself are like emotionally attached to Blank Canvas because like that was our baby. Like we built this thing. And finally, after a lot of negotiations and hounding, we actually ended up buying the name Blank Canvas. So, yeah, so we ended up buying the company from Lifestyle and got everything sorted out. So like now we own the name. We own, it's back in our possession. And anything you see Blank Canvas is from me, Eric, and Paul. So that was kind of like the start of the Music Week stuff. And then we like re-rolled the brand out, announced all these crazy shows. I don't know. Music Week was going to be fucking insane. It gets me so depressed when I think about what could have been with Blank Canvas 2020 Music Week. It was just like set up.
There were shows just left and right, like debatably your biggest Music Week yet.
Yeah, it was not debatably like it was. We had Soho Studios, we had Maps, we were doing Toe Jam Backlot, and we had a fucking pool. Like we had doubled what we were doing. It was going to be insane. But yeah, so Blank Canvas now is back under our ownership. It's back under our guidance.
Sick. So do you have like as big of a team, or is it just you and Eric?
Yeah, it's me, Eric, and Paul. And then for those of the people that like really know the Miami scene, like Justin Barding helps me a lot. He's
involved. Yeah, Justin. Yep.
Yeah, Justin helps us stuff, and then we have this other kid, Gabe, who's amazing, that works with us. So we have like a core group, but like we all just kind of are like freelance and like get paid off events, and it's like like everybody eats when everybody eats, and
for sure,
it's if not not having that like big corporate overhead of an office and like paying salaries and doing all that other stuff. Like everybody has their own hustle, and then like comes back to that.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fucking awesome. So what got you, so in that time period where you decided to buy out the name Blank Canvas and create your own team with Eric and Justin, what got you into working with, remind me of their name, Medium Rare. Okay. So how did that tie you up in there? And I want to know how you got involved with Imagine, because you were their marketing strategist, correct?
Yeah, I was one of the marketing directors. We actually split the role into 2 pieces last year. It was me and Louis Lovella. Louis out of Canada and does a ton of club and festival stuff. Pretty prolific in the freelance world. But yeah, so like, all right, so we'll go back last year. I'm like, okay, shit, what am I gonna do? Just started like doing some freelance stuff. Obviously, I was working on my management projects, and just like really started asking around, like, yo, like, who needs someone to help them out, whatever. And I got connected with Glenn from Imagine, who's one of the owners. And, he was like, okay, well, damn, like you have festival experience, like you've definitely toured all over the country. Like you have a lot of credentials as far as, promoting shows and doing stuff. Because like when Life in Color closed, I mean, I was the marketing director and I oversaw everything marketing A to Z for every event we were doing in the whole world.
Yeah.
So, it was like we were doing Miami, we were touring the US, we were touring internationally. So like I got connected with Glenn, we ended up putting a deal together. I came on board with them, started working with Imagine, doing all their stuff. That was probably like in May. And then in June, got linked up with the guys from Prime Social Group out of Ohio, started working with them, working on Breakaway Festival. I'm from Ohio originally. So like I kind of had some connection to those guys.
I remember you posting stuff about that, and you were really psyched
yeah,
to
it
work
was cool
on it.
because like I got to go home and like throw shows in Ohio, which was something I never really got to do.
Yeah.
We did a big show in Columbus, and I got to bring some people that like I'm still close with at home, to the show and like really come check it out, which is always a good feeling. Like I love being able to share what I do with other people, especially my friends. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then, I actually knew the two guys, Adam and Joe, that had founded Medium Rare because they both worked at Lifestyle SFX with me. Joe
nice.
was
Okay.
the marketing director for Tomorrow World. And like I'd worked very closely with him building street teams and doing marketing. When I was at Life in Color, like I actually ran like the last year they did Tomorrow World, we ran this like massive promo team that sold like $500,000 worth of tickets, and like that. And that was like part of what like really put me on a lot of people's radar, like internally in our company to move me up. And so Joe and I had remained close and we're always cool. And then Adam is the head of Electric Zoo still. And, him and Eric are super close and we knew each other. And they were like, well, we know you're looking for some work. And there had actually been a conversation in late 2018 about moving me to New York to work on like some projects in our New York office, which Adam's the head of. So like Adam and I had really been like having a lot of interactions with each other because, they had talked about moving me.
Yeah. Is that something you maybe foresee in your future in the next like few years? Or are you just happy where you're at?
Like,
Okay.
I love Miami. I'm staying here. Like this is my city. So, so like I end up, getting on some calls with them. They're like, look, man, we're like really growing this thing. We've got, Shaq's Fun House. And at that time, nobody knew about Gronk Beach, but they're like, hey, we're launching this Gronk Beach event and we manage Carnage and we manage Diesel. We need someone to come in and like we're growing our company. It was the two of them, and then they had a marketing manager, Logan, he's great. And Logan and I work together a ton. He had just graduated from Arizona, so they were like, we need someone to like really come in and grab the marketing thing and take it over. So that was in like August. So ended up coming on board with them in August, finished up all my other contracts. And then I just started, in on the Super Bowl stuff with them. And we're
so for that kind of stuff, did you work with the talent buying or was that more done through another facet in their group?
Yeah. So, when it comes to that stuff, like I definitely have some input, but like, I'm not the one sending offers in.
Yeah.
Adam and Joe handle
because that's like massive buying.
Yeah.
That's
but like, we had a lot of conversations about like what's hot, what's not, who do we think will sell, especially this past year because we're in Miami. Like that's my home market. Been throwing shows here for 10 years.
Who was that? That was Nitty Gritty and some other people, right?
Well, no, I mean, yeah, Nitty was on it, but like the main people were Diddy, Diplo, Pitbull,
huge,
Baby. Yeah. I mean, we book top tier talent, and then you flip over to Gronk Beach, it's like Rick Ross, Flo Rida, Cascade, Carnage, Blau, like those homies. But yeah, I mean, so we definitely have a lot of conversations about talent and like, who do we think will sell, what's hot, what's trending with the kids, but I'm not like directly involved in talent buying. It's more like the creative and marketing end and like doing that kind of internal stuff. But still awesome. They're great events, and then
that's awesome. And I'm sure you'll do more stuff with them in the future to come when this pandemic is.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing stuff. Like Carnage is releasing an album with Ultra Music, so we've been working on that. He released his first single together with the Martinez brothers in August, and we've got a bunch more stuff planned on that side. We did the Shaq vs. Gronk live stream in June, which was a huge success. Like Shaq and Gronk together is ridiculous. And then we've got like 3 or 4 other big concepts that we're pretty close to closing in on and going to be announcing, in the near future that are virtual events. And then, we're looking at the Super Bowl, like to do in-person events. We're not sure yet.
Yeah. Oh, that's huge. Well, that's definitely, I feel like something that your parents should look at and be like, wow.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's so
when did the switch? Yeah, right. When did the switch happen? When your parents were like, oh, like he's doing it, like he's good now, like he's.
Yeah, I think to a certain extent, like especially like this last year, working with Shaq and working with Gronk and like seeing the people I work with on TV, like that's definitely been a big like, oh shit, like you're doing some cool stuff.
Yeah.
when you start working with celebrities that your parents know, you get a little more like, oh, like that's what's
something
up.
that they can relate to. You're like, oh,
yeah,
okay,
exactly.
now we resonate.
Like, the Shaq thing has definitely been a good, median for like letting my parents know, like, hey, I'm doing all right, So yeah, I mean, it's been good. I think, as time shifted at Life in Color and I got like into a marketing director role and, got paid more, and they kind of saw that I wasn't struggling anymore. They were definitely like more on board with like, okay, you're doing okay. Like you got your shit together, and now like doing consulting and working for Medium Rare and, being an owner of BLNK CNVS, they're like, okay, well, like you're doing all right for yourself. I'm like, yeah, we're cool. Like we're chilling, but it takes a long time to get to that point in this business where like, you can sit back and be like, okay, I'm okay. And I don't have to worry
it's
as
so
much
down to come up. But it's all worth it because you're doing what you love to do and not sitting in City Hall.
I can't imagine doing anything else. And I've been offered a ton of jobs, especially last year after, the Life in Color thing happened.
Yeah.
I had a ton of job offers. People are like, oh, I should apply for this. You can do that, whatever, take your skills and like get paid a lot more money. And I'm like, like, yeah, sure. It's about the money. And like, I like nice shit as much as anybody else, but I like giving back to fans. I like seeing the look on people's faces when they come into our events. I like hearing about it on Twitter afterwards. I'm still getting tweets like, what is it, 3 years later from the Cerez D Adam Bear show that we did for Music Week. People like, that shit still blows my mind. Like this is the best Music Week show ever. And like, that's the shit that gets me really excited, to hear fans be like, I had
you create moments that they're gonna, remember forever, and you're creating an escape for them because they do work their their 9 to 5 or their whatever other job they have, and then it's like you work in the industry of creating these memories that they remember forever, and there's very few things that positions do.
That's what it's all about. You get it as a DJ, like when you're standing on the stage and you feel that energy.
It's an addiction, and I'm sure you have that sort of addiction too, because I've been here and I've been like in my 4 walls and I've moved my studio about 5 times because I'm like, okay, I gotta get the inspiration, do this and do that. And at one point my boyfriend was like, that like y'all have an addiction to what you do. And I'm like, like I do, like not standing on stage 2 nights out of every week and then just stopping for 6+ months. That's like quitting cigarettes to an extent, and you realize why your mind is not on point and why these people are going through, mental issues, which of course, it's understandable, but there is another side to that. And, adapting and I feel like a huge part of this, and that's what you've done, in your teams, is adapt and start to throw these massive virtual events. And that's what we have to do on our end is adapt. And, how else can we share our art? How else can we make income and still stay within the realm of like the entertainment industry?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we haven't even touched on like the management stuff,
I was about to say, I have like one more thing we got to talk about.
Yeah, we got like, I was like looking at the clock. I'm like, oh man.
I know. See, doesn't it go by quickly? But that's the point. That's okay.
Because I love to talk. So like,
thank you.
On these things, I'm never like, I don't know what to say. Like, I have so much stuff to talk about.
It's amazing.
I love to share with people. I've done a ton of interviews and podcasts and spoke at classes and stuff. Like, I love to go out and speak to people and like kind of share my story and like, hey, this is what makes me tick. And if I can inspire one person and all the shit that I have done to come and work in the business, that's cool. Like that's,
absolutely. And that's why we're doing this. Absolutely. So in the time period from 2019 to 2020, is that when you started Motion Projects?
No. Okay. So like, I started the LLC, but I was actually managing Throwdown, who's now Mad Reckless.
Now so is Motion Projects a consulting company or is it just a talent management company?
It's whatever I want it to be. Because it's my company.
And it's you and Justin, right? That's the team.
Yeah.
Right
so
now?
Like basically I own the company 100%. It's mine.
Yeah.
Justin, works with me on some of my management projects and he manages Kevin Flume, Drink Your Water.
Yeah.
We were kind of like, okay, well, like for the sake of legalities, like how do we want to do this? So we just kind of ran it through my company and like gave him an email.
For sure.
So like he's very much his own independent contractor, but it's my company, you know, that I run and operate, and I do all my consulting work through Motion Projects, and then, you know, we do all of our management stuff as well. But yeah, I mean, Justin he just helps me out with, you know, the Mad Reckless stuff, and then obviously he manages Kevin. So, you know, that's kind of where that's at. But I actually got my start in artist management in 2017, when I started managing Mad Reckless. You know, and like, that was really like what first got me into it. I didn't have a management company or anything at that time. Like, we were just
showed an interest in him.
Yeah, we showed an interest, and like, I actually brought in like one of my other friends that had a management company at the time and had like signed him under their company. You know, with me as the manager. That way everything like legally was all, you know,
for sure.
good. But yeah, I mean, the management thing is like a whole different fucking animal. Like, oh man, I had no idea what I got myself to fucking do when I got into that.
Talk about every other job you're doing and putting that on top of it. Good luck.
My girlfriend thinks I'm fucking nuts. Like,
yeah.
I love you to death.
I think most other significant others like look at people in the industry and they're like, you're fucking crazy and you're also kind of weird, but it's really cool that you're doing what you love.
Exactly. You know? So like, there's definitely an admiration there, but they're also like, you work harder and crazier hours than anyone I know.
And people don't realize that either. Like, it's not just like, and especially from like the DJ, like producer standpoint of it, like, it's not just partying and doing this and doing that. Like, if you're a real worker, I get it. There's some faces who, you know, they have the face, they do whatever, their team does all of the work, but most of the time it's everybody just working crazy hours.
Yeah, I mean, it's nonstop, you know, like, I've definitely been on tour, you know, and toured for a while with Life in Color, and that shit's crazy and exhausting. You know, now I work coast to coast, multiple time zones. Like, you know, I work normal New York time, I work into LA time. Yeah, hell, I think I took a call at like 2:00 in the morning last night. You know, someone like our video editors in LA, and is like, hey, I have a question. I'm like, well, I'm in bed, but whatever. You know, like, hold on, let me get my AirPods. Like, we can have this conversation, you know? But yeah, I mean, it's definitely just like a crazy dedication to the job and the craft. And, you know, I always jokingly tell people, I'm like, look, there are people that are way fucking smarter than me, but I will work you under the goddamn table.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't have a problem working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like,
and I think that's just so true within our industry. Like, you've got these very blessed and talented people on both ends, on talent buying, agents, management, as well as artists, DJs, whatever. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how talented you are if you're not willing to work for it and just be like balls to the walls worker. It's people just rather work with people like that.
You know, and it's also kind of like, it's just so competitive, you know, like the DJ one's easy for me to point out because like there are so many talented producers out there, but they don't want to put the work in.
They don't want to put the work in.
Well, you know,
and they don't want to complete the pie. It's a whole pie that has to be completed with multiple pieces.
And like, yeah, sometimes you get lucky and you make a really banger track that will take off and, you know, it works out. But so many people are like, I don't want to develop my brand. I don't want to develop my socials. I don't want to build a, you know, fan base. I just want to make music. I don't want to deal with all
Become
this
a ghost producer. Make a lot of money.
Like, you know, but it's true. It's like, you know, you're an amazing producer, but, you know, like, unless you can put the rest of the pieces of the puzzle together, like,
it's not going to happen.
You know, like, there was definitely a time in dance music where like you could just put out an EDM anthem and become a superstar overnight and your whole life would change. But like, especially in bass music, like, that's not the way it is anymore.
No.
You know, and like, it is so competitive and there's so much music and so much talent that it's like, you can't just have one piece. You need the full fucking recipe here. You know, and that's definitely made it more complicated as a manager and as a talent buyer and as a promoter, like dealing with, you know, who are we going to pick to play the shows from, like, how do we develop our talent? You know, and
so from that standpoint, as a talent buyer, do you have a thing where you're looking at the trends and you're looking who's coming up and X, Y, and Z, or do you just strictly go to agencies like Paradigm and like UTA and work from their database.
No, I mean, if you look at our like the Blank Canvas track record of like who we were booking and what we were doing, like I'd like to think that we were very like on the cutting edge of like curating some stuff. Our headliners were very like, okay, these are the main headliners, but like start looking at the undercards. Same thing, like even at Life in Color, like start looking at the undercards on stuff, and it's like, hey, we were really like pulling people. Like I can remember we did a Life in Color show in Chicago with Adventure Club. The undercard was Chainsmokers, and under that was Louis the Child. It's like Louis the Child probably got paid like $250 to play that show, and like now they're selling out, arenas. But
it's just predicting that curve.
Yeah, it's like getting hip to stuff and like, really understanding like who's trending, who's not trending, what people are putting music out. I still listen to tons of dance music every single day, looking at what's coming up, having people send me stuff, and it's important to like stay hip to that.
Absolutely.
As a promoter and talent buyer, if you want to make money on shows, you need to understand like what talent's hot and is going to sell out. Cause like most time you're booking stuff 3 to 6 months in advance. So like you're really betting like, okay, if I book a show today, that show may like, normally we would be booking stuff for January right now in like New Year's.
Yep.
And it's like, what's that trend going to be? Who's going to put stuff out? And the agents definitely help with that. And we get previews of music, and, it's really just a lot of keeping your ear to the ground and like seeing who people are talking about and, like what's going to blow up. Like we took, like that chance on like the Blunts and Blondes and Subtronics show. A lot of people are like, I don't know. Like the talent buyer community was kind of like, I don't know, like it's kind of expensive. And I was like, no, we got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it.
And sold out. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Look at Subtronics now. Yeah.
Yeah, when we bought it before like the tour and stuff started, people were like, I don't know, it's cool, but like, they're kind of unproven. And then like when the tour started, it was like, holy shit. And like every single spot sold out. Blunts, Subtronics, and like, rocketed both of them to the next level. But, it's that ability to like see that before it happens.
And take a chance on it and just be confident in your actions.
Yeah, and be like, yo, I know that these guys are going to blow up, or I know that the music's solid. It's going to take it to the next level, which can be really tough to do, like
a lot of people become stagnant. I see people reach that like high middle tiered billing and they never move up, and they never, they never keep going. And it's crazy because you'll work for years and then you'll have that one breakthrough and then you go up, you go up to the next level. Do you foresee yourself expanding your management company in the coming years, or are you just kind of like
okay, so like that's the question I get a lot.
Yeah.
And like I always tell people, first and foremost, I'm a promoter. I throw shows. That's what I do. That's what I love. That's what I like to get up every morning and work on.
Yeah.
I like the management stuff, but like I only have so much capacity to handle.
It's a full-time job.
It's
a full-time job.
Handle acts. So like, I'm personally managing Mad Reckless and Bilo, and it's just like I don't have the bandwidth to like really manage another person, and like I've had.
And it's so hard to take an up. I feel like the smaller caliber of artists you are, the more it takes of your time, because it's just, I mean, I understand that the established artists, it's a whole nother ball game, but to take
grind, like where I've been with Mad Reckless and the 3-year journey that he and I have been on to get him to where he is now, is completely different from like my relationship with Bilo. And like managing an established artist and like moving them forward and maintaining their career is significantly less of a time commitment. It's not any easier. But it's like,
what you need to do, and how, like, the X's you need to cross off.
The fan base is there. People can do it. You're like, you're doing a lot more dot connecting, with the Bilo project. Like I spend a lot more time strategizing like where our releases are going to go, but like when I email people, it's like, oh, it's Bilo. So like they know that the door's immediately open, and artists know who he is and fans know who he is. When you come into a new project, nobody knows who you are. So it's like, you got to like build this name and, get people to like actually listen to your music for the first time. It is very difficult to build a DJ project from square one, so would I take on another project at the moment? No, I'm pretty busy. I might look at doing something that was another established project. might look at adding another manager like Justin. Justin and I have had some conversations about him picking up another act, you know, and like I just kind of advise on his stuff. He's like, hey, I need connected to Deadbeats, and I'm friends with those guys, so I'll email them and talk to them. Hey,
shoot Harrison an email.
Yeah, like, yo, like, you know, we need you to hit up Excision's team. Okay, cool, I'll reach out. So I kind of just play dot connector with Justin on his management projects, or he'll call me and be like, we're thinking about doing X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, that's amazing, but don't do Z, you know? You know?
And it's nice to have that, because a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't have that person to call. And it's just, that's nice that you act as that to Justin within everything else that you're doing.
Yeah, we have, you know, a great relationship and have worked together for years. So yeah, I mean, maybe there would be some potential if I found someone that I was really interested in working with, you know, that we could fold another manager into the company and kind of be like, okay, well, you know, I'll help you and we'll use my resources.
Yeah, absolutely.
Projects and everything else, because that's kind of what we're doing with, you know, Drink Your Water and Kevin Flume. It's like, hey, we're just using my Rolodex of contacts, and, you know, Justin's the one steering the ship this time.
Oh, definitely.
You know, so yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's just a whole different challenge than throwing shows.
But it's just going to make you so much more well-rounded and educated in the way that you approach things. Like, talk about taking something on from a completely different perspective. We're going to wrap it up soon, but before you go, I have one question for you. If you were a promoter and you've been promoting for a while and you want to take it to the next level, what would be your advice?
All right, so I get this question a lot.
Yeah, I assume so.
No, it's cool. So my advice to people, if you're really interested in, like, you know, becoming a promoter, a marketing person, or whatever, you know, get your education, learn your shit in school. It's pretty much required at this point. But like, the real thing that I'm looking for is experience. So like, if you're slinging tickets, selling, you know, and, you know, flinging fires on the fucking corner and talking to people, go and talk to the promoter that you work for. Go and talk to the guy that's your street team manager. Go and talk to the guy that's the owner of the company. Like, yo, I want to get more involved. I want more responsibility, and make yourself stand out. Like, I always tell everybody, I'm like, the easiest way to impress me is like, sell a ton of tickets, work your ass off, do stuff that other people won't do, you know, and like really like put some light on you, because, you know, I've always been a person that's like, I let my work speak for itself. You don't need to hear me. You'll know, because you'll see the results, you know, whether that's outselling people, outworking people, doing whatever, you know, going that extra mile. Like, if you want to move up and you want to be recognized in this business, like, you need to go the extra mile and like really make yourself stand out. If you do that, you'll find that people will be more than willing to work with you and give you more responsibility. You know, and you take that and you work in your local scene and get some experience. And if you get that experience, that'll open the door to go get an internship somewhere at one of the corporate companies, or go do something else, or maybe you grow internally with them at the club or whatever they're doing, or get involved with festivals. It's work your ass off and network. And when I say network, I don't mean go out and meet people that like just go out and party and rave all the time. I mean like meet industry people. You know, and like start talking to them and having conversations. Like, for the most part, they're all very nice. The assholes. Like, not to say that there aren't still a few around, because there are, but like, you know, for the most part, like, if you text us, or like if I have random people DM me, I respond to everybody. It might take me a minute, but like,
same way.
You know, I'll respond. You know, and some people do, some people don't, but like, it's really like network, start to meet people, take those opportunities, go work ground control at EDC, go, you know, do guest list at whatever. You're not, and the other thing is like, you're not too good for any job. Like, I can tell you, in the last year, I have done every job A to Z that you can imagine. I've been on the streets passing out flyers. I still pass out flyers. Selling hard copy tickets to people, worked box office. We just did like the Tech Yes show like last Halloween. I ran the box office for the whole show. It ain't glorious, but I did it.
But you know, has to do it.
Running social medias on site, doing artists, you know, relations and like liaisoning, driving people. Like, that's really it. Like, be a utility player. Do everything. Don't ever think that, oh, well, I'm above that pay grade now. Bitch, you ain't above no pay grade. Like, we all got to get on there and do what we need to do. And, you know, we're like, I like to think, you know, we're a team and we're throwing events.
Thinking of a bigger picture. It's not just an individual.
not just about your ego. And if you're a person that's got an ego and is like, well, I won't do this or I won't do that. I don't
not the right industry for you.
Nah, you can go work somewhere else. Like, I don't have time for that shit. So,
oh my God.
There's 100 other people. Like, there's a quote from Mark Cuban. I'm going to really paraphrase this right now, but he's like, you like basically have to work every day. Like, there's someone coming to take your job, and like there's 100 other people.
And that's very true for every position in this industry. There is someone who is going to be working harder than you, period.
Yeah, I mean, there's always someone that wants my job. They want my job medium rare. They want my job with Bilo. They want my job with Mad Reckless. They want my job BLNK CNVS. It's like, yo, you better get the fuck up and work because everyone else is coming for you. And if you slack off or you don't deliver, then everyone's going to be looking around like, well, time to be replaced. So you got to work hard and do your thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, thank you so much. On that note, I will say thank you, Paul, for coming on XO Podcast today. Fucking awesome. Thank you so much. I hope you have a good day.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Yes, I'll talk to you later. Bye. See ya.